teleport.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I'll let you keep the hero point, Omi, or you can give it to someone.
I'll give it to Emu.
Okay.
I already got one, by the way, since he gave me one earlier.
Yeah, because I gave him one. In fact, you know what? You guys, that was a great combat, and that was so clutch, and everybody can have an extra hero point. So everybody has 2 right now.
Thanks.
And in fact, that was such an awesome combat that I'm not going to reset it next session. So if you have an extra hero point this time, you can continue to have an extra hero point next session. Because seriously, I was supposed to use a level 1 elemental for that. I'm like, I'm not using a level 1 elemental. And so I kind of beefed up that encounter a little bit. So yeah. But I started getting nervous. I'm like, holy cow, I think I just beefed this encounter up a little bit too. And that's why I had Splug run in to try to save the day. Or at least die trying, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Oh, good job, though, everybody. But yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah, I thought we were
here.
going to be dead.
Yeah, I was getting pretty worried. Because I know I wouldn't have rolled 2 crits in a row, Duck. So you getting here when you did, that was just MacGyver, man. That was so MacGyver. So,
my software didn't fail me. I guess I'll keep the company.
you're good to go. You guys are now level 4.
So what about Harnock or Harlock? Do we need is he alive or is he dead?
He is. No, he's in bad shape, but he's definitely, he comes to after you guys, are kind of gathering around and seeing if he's okay and stuff. But he's definitely been sorely mistreated. And he's surprised when he sees all of you, and he doesn't know who you are. But he asks, how did you pass through the doors to the temple? How did you pass through?
Think we were like righteous or something and like the chosen ones.
Oh, so it is true. Gosra does have the will. And he kind of passes out for a second. And then he comes to again and he says, I've put all of my trust in my life into the trust of the wind and the waves, and here you are in front of me. He says, thank you, strangers. He says, you've rescued and you've saved the Hermitage from these blasphemous traitors and demon worshippers and devil worshippers. Oh, and he kind of passes out again.
So Kane will do medicine, like first treat wounds on him.
Okay.
If that's possible.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can do that.
Hey, King, this might be a good time to convert their church over to your god.
But yeah, let me heal him first, and then maybe he'll recognize that Hai Fang is the true deity of the wave and the wind.
Oh, God. You're gonna get everybody killed one day doing that. So up on the altar itself, leaning against the, actually leaning in on one of whatever statue that you want it to be leaning on, there is a beautiful staff, and on top of the staff there's like a head of a monkey, right? And yeah, it looks like it can be detached from the staff as well. And then Harlock, after a couple more minutes of you, doing medicine checks and everything else, Harlock comes to again. But yeah, you guys, congratulations. You guys are now level 4. So whenever you want to, go ahead and like I said, you can use the, all of the other class features and abilities in the Advanced Player's Guide if you guys want, or any of the other Lost Omens guides. I've got everything activated for you guys, so you guys can use any of the official PF2 content.
Cool.
There, Harlock. Just rest for now. Here, you can pet the beaver.
That's such a creepy voice, dude. Pet the beaver. So yeah, this staff is, like I said, it's topped with a monkey head, And
Yeah,
it's
I
a
definitely want to
beautiful
check that
staff.
out.
Yeah. So Harlock, he tells you that it is, that he thanks you again for, saving the Hermitage, and Gazra will definitely have you in the favor of the gods, and he tells you to take the staff as a token, as a gift of his appreciation for saving him.
What does this thing do?
This staff, my friend, it's called an animal staff, and it has the monkey pin on the top, and the monkey pin is like it's a talisman, so you can attach it to items. You can attach it to that staff or to armor. So the monkey pin is a small brass pin, and it's obviously in the shape of a monkey climbing a tree. And when you activate the talisman, you use a climb action, and if you succeed, you move your full speed during the climb. And if you roll a critical failure, you get a failure instead. So I'm going to go ahead and put this monkey pin in the party sheet. It is already identified. And the animal staff, it's magical. He tells you it is magical. It's from the club grouping, and the staff is topped. You can actually put something on it, but while wielding the staff, you gain a +2 circumstance bonus to nature checks identifying animals, and then it also has the no direction cantrip and the magic fang and summon animal spells that are associated with it as well. So
Very cool.
yeah, so it looks like you can do those. It doesn't say what how many times you can, but it looks like it has a number of charges on the staff. So I'll look up charges for magic items, and I'll let you know how many charges that the item will have. So, but I'm sure it'll take. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you want us to do a level up now before we proceed?
That's
Or do
up
you wanna-
to you guys. If you guys want to do that while we're playing or whatnot, or if you guys just want to wait until the end of the day, it's up to you guys. Totally up to you guys.
It's like a free heal spell.
Yeah.
You get free
Oh,
level
as
up.
your character kind of explodes in this radiant glow as you level up, and all of your hit points and your mana, everything resets.
You ever play those
game.
video games where you're like down to 1 point of health,
And
and
then
you're
you
like
level
a
up.
ninth level character, and then you level up, and now you're at full health again. You're like,
Yeah.
yes, I held out just
Yeah.
enough.
I think
Wasted no
Diablo
potions.
does that. Diablo 2 did that, and Diablo
Yeah.
3 and stuff. So yeah. But you guys have purged the Hermitage of this demonic presence that has been. And actually, as this is happening, several of the other monks and hermits of the Hermitage come in, and they pledge their fealty to Harlock again. And basically Harlock says, "I'll deal with you later." So, but yeah, several of the other monks, they come in and they pledge their fealty again. And they said that they were just brainwashed by the corruption that started, sweeping through the Hermitage of Blessed Lightning. So Harlock, and it's later in the evening, and Harlock says that, you can, instead of, he has something that he needs to talk to you about as well. And I'm also going to put the animal staff in the party sheet really quick. Magic items galore, man. You guys are getting quite a bit. Lots of talismans.
No, I forgot about that. I could have read the party sheet and used some of that.
Yeah, anything that you guys want to take, feel free. I mean, there's quite a bit of stuff in there, so I would say get it cleaned up pretty soon for sure, because there's a lot of stuff starting to accumulate. And if you want to sell anything, just if it's like the mundane armor and stuff, you can get half value for it. And any magic items, once you get into a town, you can do like maybe you could find someone to purchase it, with selling magic items and stuff, and you can negotiate a better deal than just half. So maybe you could do a performance, and I don't know, whatever. But anyway, Harlock Camdale, he's doing much better, and a little bit of time has gone by. He tells all of you it's getting late. He offers the use of the large guest rooms, which you guys had already seen. You guys can use those. And he says anytime that you need, a bed or a place to lay your head for the night, you're always welcome at the Hermitage. And he apologizes for the troubles that the hermits have caused, not only here within the temple, but, to Aberton as well. Because, and especially he really apologizes for Nemia. Remember the druid that you guys killed with the rats and stuff, because she was his favorite. And then she just betrayed him and started worshiping demons and devils. And, but you guys know after talking with him, and especially with him being, basically beat today, he's not responsible for this. I mean, that's common sense, right? And actually he blames himself for not catching the corruption sooner that was going throughout the Hermitage. And he also says that he wants the Hermitage and the people of Aberton to live in peace, and they always have. But this just took him by surprise. And he suspects that there was one of the visiting priests from another hermitage by the name of Belenny, Balenny, Belenny. Harlock thinks that Belenny was probably the instigator of all of this, and probably the one that talked all of the hermits and corrupted all of the hermits into betraying Gazra. So, yeah. And then he kind of sighs a little bit and he says, let me, he says, I've got something really important I need to tell you, and I should probably start from the beginning on this. And this is something that he hasn't even, told the mayor of Aberton about, because he never really thought that this was going to be an issue until just recent times. But he says, the Hermitage of Blessed Lightning is established here to protect and learn from the Aran Tower. And the Aran Tower it's an ancient landmark that's on the island, right? And he tells you that and you guys would know about the Aran Tower. And the Aran Tower was created by the living god Aridin thousands of years ago. And it has a flat top on the tower. And on the top of this tower, it has an ion stone. And this ion stone kind of orbits the head of the tower that Aridin created. Like I said, this tower was created thousands and thousands of years ago. And you guys saw it on your journey, because it's a huge tower. It's hundreds of feet tall, and you guys were traveling through the rolling hills, so you could easily see it. And the hermits, he tells you that, he and the other hermits, they know very little about it, except for that it was created by Aridin. And the Aeon Orb is something it's a magical aura that protects this island, basically, in several different ways. So Harlock goes on to tell you that the lore that's been passed down to him from the previous masters of the Hermitage, they suggest that there's more to do with this. And the other leaders of the Hermitage, including Harlock himself, think that the Ion Orb is a very powerful artifact. And what it does is it enriches the life for dozens and dozens of miles in all directions, basically covering the entire island, making the land more abundant, the seasons milder, and the harvest more bountiful. But then he says in the past few generations, as he's been leader of the Hermitage, he thinks that this powerful artifact, the Ion Stone, he thinks that it's starting to fade. And he thinks that because, he's gone to the tower several times to do research. And then he tells you that, the soil's dying out, vegetation is stunted in growth. Some of the crops won't grow at all. Birth rates among it. And this is starting to ring with you guys because you guys have already heard this from Nemia. Remember Nemia? She was saying, hey, this is the people of Aberton. They're the reason for all of this. So now it's starting to click with you guys. And, all of the corrupted priests, they were starting to blame the townspeople of Aberton for this, as I just mentioned. But Harlock, he doesn't think, and he knows it wasn't the people of Aberton at all. He thinks it's the power of the Ion Orb. It's fading, and it's starting to fail, and that's why this whole island is basically dying a very slow death, and it has been for the last couple of generations. And he's tried to understand more, especially since he's been in charge of the Hermitage, and he's got, he mentioned, he's gone to the Aaron Tower a couple of times over the last few years, but he hasn't been able to find out any kind of definitive information or find any clues on this. But he says, just a few weeks ago, my friends, on my most recent visit, some foul-smelling creatures started hurling spears at me before I could even get close to the tower. And there's no inhabitants of the tower. And he said that he saw that these creatures were Zolgas, which you guys would know them as troglodytes. So they're like a lizard man. And he said that he spied on them for a couple of days from a distance to where he wasn't seen. And he said that he saw at least a dozen coming and going. They were accompanied by a couple of large lizards, much like the kind that were here inside of the temple room. And he said that he also saw a couple of demons as well. And he says it was such an unpleasant surprise. And now not only my hands are full with everything that's happening on the island, but now, as protectors of this tower, I've got my hands full with dealing with all of these other Zolgos. And he says, I was just scared to go to Mayor Aber about this because they're not they don't have an army. They don't have a big militia or anything. And he says, but as I was kind of spying around and I was investigating further, but it seems like they are worshiping the demons. And he overheard a few of the priests here in the temple as well, that they were planning to visit the Aaron Tower and speak with someone named Kavnakash. And I'll put that into the chat as well. And the priest that visited Beleni also mentioned Kavnakash. But Harlock doesn't know who Kavnakash is or what Kavnakash is or anything. But he believes that Kavnakash is the leader of the Zolgos. And he has some type of power over the demons, because there's never been demons or devils or anything like that on the island. So he thinks that this Kavnakash has something to do with it. And then he says, my friends, you've done so much. I don't even know you. I don't even know your names, but you have done so much for the town of Aberton and my hermitage. But there is more that could be done. And would you clean and would you cleanse the Aaron Tower of the demons and the Zolgoth infesting it, so that we can perhaps work together to see if we can repair the Ion Orb to restore life to this island?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think we can do that.
Yeah, sure.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe they'll tell stories about Emu and his traveling companions one day.
I'm sure they are already.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's been some songs that you've heard sung on the streets, especially when you guys were doing your performance against these the other circus, the Celestial Menagerie. Yeah, they were chanting your names and singing songs, and so you guys have actually got quite a prestigious reputation already on the island. But he says, but if you would do this and save the island, you would go down as legends throughout history.
That sounds pretty cool.
It does.
All right. So you guys want to get rested up for the evening?
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
get you a long rest, and you guys can head out the next morning. So yeah, I think that would. I think actually, this might be a good spot to end for the day. So we'll say that you guys get rested up. You're now level 4. I'll also leave the game up so you guys can level up your characters and stuff. But I think this would be a good spot to end for today, because the tower is about 15 miles away. But like I said, you guys were traveling through the rolling hills, and you could see this tower, the whole way that you were coming to the Hermitage. So you know where the Aaron Tower is. So, but it's, like I said, it's an easy travel throughout the grasslands. So we'll say that you guys get fully rested up. I'll tell the
Cool.
combat tracker that you guys have had a overnight rest, so you're good to go. You should have all of your points back. You should have all of your spells. You should get some of your hit points back, which it looks like you guys did. And we'll continue on with the next morning, where Harlock and the remaining hermits, they have a huge feast of a breakfast for you to send you off to the Aaron Tower. So that's where we'll stop for today.